Okay. So we now ready to get into the major components of your project. The major components of your project is Google Cloud computing. That should be ready, and that is the center of your project. And the next week we will set up Raspberry Pi. That is another component. Once we successfully complete the installation and start running both of those, cloud server and Raspberry Pi, of course you have your laptop. So three components, three devices are ready. So you guys are ready to go. All right. So next week we'll have another asynchronous online class. Asynchronous online means I'm going to record my lecture and then post it so that you can come in and check out at your earliest convenience and follow the process, all the steps that I recorded to set up Raspberry Pi. And also, you need to make sure that your Raspberry Pi should talk to your laptop, and your laptop, of course, talk to cloud server. There are two ways to do, right? SSH connection and also web connections. That's what we are doing today. Okay. The platform as a service, that is what we are achieving, right? And install. And that is the service that we are leasing from Google Cloud Server. And once you set up a cloud server, then you need to get to do some developments on the cloud server. It's very nice that cloud server make SSH available for us to get the root privileges on the Linux shell, particularly CentOS Linux. So we are going to work on that. Well, we would, I think I set up, okay, this is, I'm going to close this and show it to you once more. Once you get in your VM instance, this is my VM instance, and then if you want to see your view building reports, then you can see it. In my case, I think I started this in January this year or late last year. Therefore, what is this?
You get a $300 free credit first, right?
Yeah, $300, but all consumed. Now I pay few dollars. I mean, I think $40.
Wait, doesn't it say right there you have $186 left of the free credit? You go back to that billing page?
Forget about that. We don't, yeah, that's not our issue, right? Yeah, I need some credits and something that I need to pay also. Okay, here the IP address there, because this is shown on YouTube. I am scaring sometimes showing my IP address. I don't want to arbitrarily many guys trying to attack. There's nothing important here, and also no damage to me, right? It's Google's, but anyway, even so, I don't need to make it public all the time. So you can show this back and forth, right? Here, SSH. So if you click this SSH, then you guys already had that, and then authorize. And so once you get in, I believe this is your login ID. So home/home and John_JP_Yoon, that's my login ID. And also I am in the pseudo words list, so I can handle always super user privileges. You can also, when you first set up, you guys had the root privileges and root password. Probably you guys saved somewhere. So they give you temporary root password. You can change it, but I didn't change it because I don't. This Google server is not my production server, so I don't really. It's only the education purpose. I have here JSON. Oh, by the way, so you guys had all. Let me first help you guys. Your website is in VAR top directory VAR. Let me do change directory CD and slash VAR. VAR stands for variable sized directory, which could be variable while your CentOS operating system is running. Usually web server, right? Web page. Web page is a variable. It grows and I think usually growing, right? Growing and growing. Because you create more HTML files, maybe PHP files. So those are in VAR. And then www/HTML. Hit enter. Then you have, some of you guys might have index.html. If you have index.html, you can use it. But if you see here the owner and group, then there's root directories. So root owners. It's not you, right? You are not the owner. You see this, right? So best way that you need to do is, I want to bring up one more SSH so that you can see both of those side by side. Here I have project 24. When I type pwd, print working directory, then /home/john_jp_yoon, this is my ID. And then in my home directory, there is a JSON directory. If you come here, I put here, I want to look at this, the second ones.
Are you recording? Are you recording?
Oh yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, I think I did, right?
I
did.
don't remember.
Let's see. It says a stop, therefore it is being recorded. Unless I stop, it is there, right? So you need to set up these things. From here, if I say ls.json, then it shows this, the same thing that I see here. See here, project 24, sensors, SML logs, 3 of those, right? Where I am right now, I am here, home, my home, and then JSON. Where I am here on left side, I'm here VAR, www, and HTML. So I need to link them together. That is called the symbolic link. The way that you need to symbolic link is this way. For example, if I want to make here mkdir temp, I want to put 2 T's. Temp is well known, so I have tempp. I want to make, oh, not necessarily here. I need to go up one more. Here, JSON and project 24. Oh, this is good ones. Project 24. Okay. I want to make project 24 here. Then you need to do ln-s. ln, the language ln means there's a link. -s means symbol links. So I want to make a symbolic links. If you do not understand what I'm trying to say, then get some idea of the Linux skills. Raise your hand. You have zero knowledge of Linux skills, Linux command line. You have zero knowledge?
No, I don't.
How come you are using Mac book?
Oh, I used before Windows.
Oh, Mac. The reason I like Mac is because Mac has Linux operating systems. Okay, number one. Number two, many others also. Okay, so you have to do. If you have a Mac OS, then I want you to play with the command line all the time. Okay, not accessing graphical user interface. For Windows, I know some guys are using PowerShell. That's a good idea. PowerShell is very similar to Linux. You can do that too. Okay, ls minus, if you want to make sure what it is, then you need to come here and then Linux ln command. Then you can get some help. So ln command in Linux, anything that you can do. There may be some examples, right? ln minus s, option you don't need to do. File and link. So file is you have to be very careful. Specifies as the first arguments to. Okay. Create symbolic links. Okay, this is a good example here. If you want to show, this is a file available on my current directory, mylink.txt. My file.txt is somewhere. So you want to link my file to somewhere. So what you need to do here, ln minus s, you need to do somewhere first. Okay, your destination first, and then your local file first. So what you have to do here, where's my, here, pwd is this. So what you need to do, you need to specify further first. So / home John _ JP _ Yoon / and in the further side, I want to link to project 24. Then you need to do project 24. And then my local, I want to put project 24 at my local. If you do this, I need to have a, oops. So it's kicked me out. As always.
Yeah,
Not always here at school. Okay, at home, stable. I need to go to BAL, www, html.
Yeah, O2.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, the web SSH is not very stable for me. I have to do the command line with the GCP.
Yeah, if it is idling for maybe 10 minutes, then they disconnect. But not like here. Here, all the time. Oh, 4 W's, 3 W. Okay. This is what I have right now. So ln minus s, and then / home. I want to specify my further, the long distance first. And then John _ JP _ Yoon, and then project 24. And then my local here, which, how do you show this? I want to show this project 24. Or I want to show this 505 project. And don't forget that you have to sudo first. because the root privilege is needed. Enter, and -L. Then you can see here, 545 project goes to project 24. Okay, and then if you say ls 545 project, what is inside the 545 project? Then that is the same thing here, ls project 24. It has index.html and test.html. Okay, that's what you guys need to do. Okay, once that is connected, then those things can be seen from your web page here. Here, 35 dot, okay, and then this is my IP, 545 project. That's just we created, right? 545 project. That's what we created. See here, that's what we created, the 545 project. That should be shown like this, okay? 545 project. Okay. Your domain, okay. So for your documents on your home directory, then you need to do the symbolic link. Symbolic link needed. Let me specify here. What you need to do is set up a symbolic link. Set up a symbolic link. How can you set up? Here is ln -s and destination path and your current file. So I want to okay. This is HTML browse. Here's what we want to do. Today, this is whole picture of your project. You guys need to the public web server, and you guys need to do Raspberry Pi. That is another engine, and your laptop. We're not going too much about this laptop. Probably some the Python codings here, and RPI. Yeah, we need to set up a TCP server maybe next week using Python codings. So those three guys need to talk, but actually your laptop, because many of you have Windows, this is not really server, but the client. So you have a designated client. The other two servers, okay, distributed servers. Here more public, this is more local. So communication between your local and your laptop then your router is very, very important. Okay, home router, you need to work on your home router. Here at school, the router doesn't route your request from your laptop to your Raspberry Pi. Therefore, from time to time, we do not come here to meet online. Next week, you don't need to come. Will be another online. Okay, here, so the first thing that we have to set up on the Google Cloud is a PHP middleware and also a database. You guys already had the database skills. The local, we had that once, right? So you can do that on your the Google server, okay? The one that I ask you to do, this is a like e-commerce. Not e-commerce. The online orderings. Okay, go to your. If you see here the URL, this is my URL, right? And JSON project 24, and then and I call one of the PHP files. Which PHP files? I have here PHP files, right? The one that I am showing to you is a purchase.php. Then currently that is on JSON and project 24 and purchase.php. If you run that, then it'll display a list. But all of these lists are automatically generated. This is not HTML files. What it does is that your PHP files needs to go to back-end database and get the information and display it. Okay? So we'll get to that point. That's what we need to do. If you do HTML files, HTML file is a little bit static, right? If I do here, what do I have HTML files? Yeah, ordering HTML files. Maybe this kind of orderings, right? You have to do here, there, click there, and one of the dates, whatever. That is HTML files. Static. This is not what we want. We want to ask our middleware to go back to the database and then grab the data and display it. So when you order, online order, you should not sell something that you do not have, right? You should sell always something that you have, so that your inventory database, current database states needs to be presented. Therefore, your customer can pick to buy, right? So that's transparent. Your HTML, it's not really HTML files, but your ordering system here, that should be transparent, so that if there are 2 inventories, yeah, maximum you can get 2 inventories. You want to buy one, and you want to buy another, and then you can put here John, and then I want to submit the purchase. Then it goes, this is something successfully take the user order and go back to database and then handle the database, and then there is a charge, whatever the charge. And after this, you guys need to set up, for example, you can reply back to the customer, client, hey, you ordered this, and then you need to set up the delivery process. So you need to send another data to, let's say, RPI, Raspberry Pi, then that is a movable, right? So let's assume that can be installed on your truck driver. So truck driver has a Raspberry Pi loaded. Therefore, that trucks can receive delivery information. Okay, that type of things is an actual process. There's a distributed applications. That's the whole point that we are trying to gain in this class. So small, minimal features needs to be practiced, right? Minimal features. For your project, I want you to add a little bit. You don't need to make whole big picture. You're not running Amazon.com, right? You don't need to emulate whole processes that currently Amazon company is dealing with. Amazon is how many employees? Hundred thousands employees working. How many IT guys? I think at least tens of thousands IT guys working there. How much they receive? Each one may receive $200 or more $1,000 annually. How much you receive? Zero. So you don't need to compare. You don't need to compete Amazon, right? But if you demonstrate some knowledge that you learn in this class to whichever they do, then that's your asset, okay? So build something, I think, one small things to add to what we are doing here in class, okay? Or you can do something else, fine. All right, so PHP. I already gave you a demo, so I will show to you first. Oh, still alive. My database, right? Is it still okay? Oh, okay. So I want to. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, once you set up symbolic link, then everything that you need to do is you can work on your home directory, like here. So I have these PHP files running, not running, you can respond to your request, HTTP request. And here we have this is real somewhere above where there is a VAR directory. I want to bring this back to my home by typing cd, then it's automatically come back to me, so that is me. And I want to go to MySQL. You don't need to specify here any MySQL path expression, simply MySQL, because that path already set up, that is handy. And -u, I think my login ID is Jayun505 and password. Okay, so show database. I have a 505 order database. So cd 505 order. No, use 505 order. Linux and database commands are confused sometimes. Show tables. But today I'm going to show to you only two tables. Product then product has item ID and item name. This is a company name and price. I didn't put their quantity, the inventories. There's a lot complicated, so I didn't put there. I assume that inventory is always available. But the real actual services, if you have a products and systems, then you need to have inventory is very, very important, right? As I said, you don't need to sell something that you do not have. So everything should be transparent. And the other one is purchase. Purchase is a little longer. So we have a purchase ID. So each one has IDs, right? Therefore, we need to trace back which order was. If any order has issues, then you need to go back to that order. You need to get to the order precisely quickly. So we have that is automatically here auto increment. And then customer name. Remember that my web server right here. What did I say? Okay. Right. I need to put here customer name at the end. But in your case, your web server may ask you to enter with your credentials. When you build your own project, the first thing that you have to set up is login ID and password. You can ask login name and password. Once it is verified, then you need to make all the middleware available for that customer, right? In that case, you don't need this customer name, right? Once you know who comes in my system, then you know that person. When you go to Amazon purchase, then once you log in Amazon accounts, then they don't ask you to enter your ID every time that you purchase, right? Because it already knows. Anyway, so that is a customer name. And customer ID, item name, company name, those three components are from here, right? Those are from here. And then quantity, that is, the first three columns of this are from the database, from product database. If you see the product database, then item ID, item name, and company name, and unit price. So these last three items appear here. Okay. So item name, company manufacturer name, and price, unit price there, so that you can choose how many of those that you want. And once this is chosen, then you can, let me show this in this way. First, select a star from products. Then everything that you can see here, can see here also. Do you understand that? So for example, if you want to do insert into products, values, products, item name, company name, price, values, you can name product name, okay, I want to sell hat because Nam has a hat. So what is the product? The manufacturer. Your hats. Is it Nike?
Yeah, sure. Let's do
Nike, and then price.
$20.
$19.99
Tax.
plus tax.
Tax efficient.
So that's item ID. Oh, item ID needs to be entered. So I need to put here item ID. Item ID is a primary. Item ID. So currently we have 1,000 and 2,000. I want to put here 3,000 and 1 and hit enter. Then I have still errors. Cannot update the child nodes for company name. There's no I key, Nike. So I need to get the company name that we know already. What is the company name? Smart key, okay. Smart space key, enter. So that is entered. Once I have a new products come in, then when I reload this, then I have a head here, right? Head to smart key, $1990, which I just entered. So this should be transparent. And then the other one is the purchases, right? Select star from purchase. Those are the purchases that we have. For example, John, the recent one is recent one, 2409. Time zone is not. I didn't set the New York Times. I don't know what 16 hours. Okay. Anyway, this is today. I chose this, but if I choose one more, I think I have customer information too. Select from customer. I need to choose one of those. Let's say Bob. So I want to have a Bob. I want to buy this, anything that I want to buy. Maybe 2, 3 of those, and submit. So it is purchased. So if I want to go back, then I need to see that Bob bought keyboard, shoes, and shorts. So 3 items. So Bob has a keyboard. Actually, Bob has keyboard, shoes, and 3 of shorts, extra small.
Yeah, it adds up.
Right, 3 of those. So that should be transparently managed. How can you do it? You can do it by set up the PHPs. So I'll show you PHP. So you guys need to learn PHP. Okay. This is a full course, a full coding list that I had. So you can, remember this is a PHP. I need to access my database. This is a credential of a database. You need to put their server name, username, database, server name, username, and password, and then domain, DB name. But I make it blank. You guys need to. You don't need to show this, right? But you need to put their JYOON, whatever. I think my username is JYOON 545. Password I didn't put there, right? So those are, in order to get in your database, you need to have a server name, username, password, and DB name. In Python, the variable should start with the $. So if you have $, then that is a variable. That is a PHP language. So you need to connect new connect with to your MySQL for example, internet, and then connect. So this after this you need to continue to make this. So all of this, the left small box, all the code, that is for the database connections. Once that is connected, Then you need to do here if this is a variable star result. Star result is nothing but number of rows. If number of rows is greater than 0, which means anything currently, okay, from here there. And then we have echoes and table information here. This is HTML. So those the PHP language quickly introduced in the following slide before we go further. So here the PHP, key features of PHP. PHP, unlikely HTML, that is a server-side execution, so which is good. And it's a cross-platform. You can work on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Unix. The one that we are using is CentOS, so that is good. Database integration is works, so we can work with MySQL, which is good. And also PHP is free, open source, so that you guys have already PHP on your Google Cloud. So basic PHP syntax is you can actually, basically, PHP can start with less than sign, question PHP, and ending with question sign, question mark, and greater than sign. So this is the beginning of your PHP script. This is the ending of your PHP script. Anything inside, that should be your PHP language. So one of the typical PHP language is echo. If you want to print something, then you can use echo, or you can simply use print. Print works also. Print or echo. That is the pure PHP script. That PHP can be embedded in the HTML, if you are familiar with the HTML. So the code in the upper box, that is the HTML. So we have HTML begin and ending, and then there is a body. In the body of that HTML, then somewhere we have a PHP code. As I said, the PHP code starts with less than sign, question mark, PHP. So this is a PHP beginning, and this is a PHP ending. Inside, there's echo. Okay, this is you start from this PHP syntax, and after that, we can think of a little bit of everything. PHP can create variables. Variables in PHP start with the $, as I already said. And the data types, almost all the data types are fine here. You can make an array and objects. String, integer, floats, point, and Boolean, all fine. Control structure also fine, that you can see on the right hand side, code blocks. The upper ones here, variable number is defined. So we have a star number equal 10. So variable star number is 10, start with the 10. So if followed by conditions. So if variable number is greater than 5, then we echo. Else, we echo another. And ending with the end mark of PHP. So start with less than sign, question mark PHP, ending with the question mark and greater than sign. If you do this, it should work, right? This is a if and else. For loop also fine. We have for and while loops. In the for loops, you need to have initial step, initial condition, and then terminate conditions. So initial conditions and semicolon. So initially I equals 0 until the variable I is less than 5, semicolon. And the third parameter here is step. How many times? From the previous to current, what is the step? We want to add I. So every step, you want to increase the variable I. That's what it is. So that we know how many times I that we need to iterate. There is a for loop. While loop, we put while followed by conditions. So $I is less than 5. This is the terminate conditions. Or not terminate condition. This is the condition. As far as that condition satisfies, then we do the body of that while loops. Okay, this is the body. So as far as this condition satisfies, then we do this. There's a control structure. Function can be defined. When you define function, then you need to start with the function, followed by function name, followed by parameter, followed by curly braces, followed by the code segment of that function implementation, and then ending with the close curly brace. This is a function definition. Once you define a function, then you can invoke that function. Invocation is very similar to others. So you need to use the signature of that functions. So function name, and then we define the function parameter here with the value $name. Then you need to send, when you invoke that function, then you need to send an arguments as a value. So Alice is an argument to that value, to that parameter. There's a functions. The other one that you can do, define an array. So array in this case, that is very similar to the dictionary in Pythons. So name equal greater than sign, very similar to an arrow, right? Here we have an arrow. What that means is that name is the key and Alice is the value. Age is the key, 25 is the value. That is very similar to the definition of a dictionary in Python. Okay? So you can think in this case, oh, we're now creating a dictionary. But here in PHP, we use the name array and open parenthesis. Within that open parenthesis, you need to have the pair of key and value. So key and value pairs. Key, arrows, value, semicolon. In Python, you need to start with the curly braces, and then key, colon, value, comma, key, colon, value, comma. Right? That is Python's syntax. But PHP here on array, so a little different. Open parenthesis, and array, open parenthesis, and then you need to have key, right arrow, value, semicolon, key, right arrow, value, semicolon, go and go. And others. And then when you use that array, then you need to use array, this is the different ones, right? Yeah. So you can create an array like a dictionary. You can create an array like a list in Python. So list of the fruits here, apple, bananas, orange, those are the fruits variable. And the other array was the person variable. The way that you can use, if that is a list, then you can use a subscript. If you use a dictionary like an array, then you need to use that variable and square brackets and key values. That is exactly the same as a dictionary. So for each is another for loop. For each, remember the previously we have a for and while loop. We have also, if you have a list of data, like dictionary or list, then you can use for each language here, for each, and then variable as fruits. What it does is that this is an element. $fruit is an element from that list, fruits list. In Python, this is something like a for fruits, singular fruit. In fruits, plural. This is a Python way. Okay, this is a singular, this is a plural. This is somewhere like here. This is a list, therefore that is here. Okay, to see. And also form can be used in PHP. So form method that you want to post, action followed by another PHP program. So when a form is complete, then that action is taken. That's what it is. That is what the form usually does, right? Those who have the HTML experience, then exactly the same as the HTML behaves here. So form method equal post action. That is the file name that you want to execute when this form is complete. And this form has a name and input variables. Two of it, the one input variables is there's a text. Name of that input is name, and then the other input variables that is a submit buttons. So button is created. And then server something posted, then you can get that post value from your PHP files. Similar to this, used in our sample code. Okay. And then database connections, we already looked at that. So actually what happens here, this code this code is to generate the first page that you get the data from your SQL result. So SQL, this is SQL that you had the products. Remember that here, the products. Product here. Oops. Purchase, products. This is a products. From that, you select the content from that product table, and then you declare the result, the query result, as a variable result. And if your database returns any more than one row, more than one record is found, then you need to generate this table. As you generate this table, then you need to use a form. Remember here, form, action. So once this table is complete and submit here, once this table and complete submit, then this PHP file needs to be executed. Processing purchase.php, this should be executed. So once we click here and there and submit button, submit the purchase, then this is a purchase.php file, which is this. And then processing purchase.php, that is another PHP file, which comes after the introduction to PHP slides. So here, from each records of the result of that SQL, then you need to populate that data here. For example, each row item name, and each row company name, each row price. Those are three things that needs to be populate on this table, right? While there is a row is available, okay? So result fetch associates, then it return, that is nothing but the row. So the first attribute, second attribute, third attribute needs to be in that table. And then we make the input type. These things needs to be carried over to the next, all of this. When you say here, the input, everything that input here, that should carry over to this PHP files. That PHP file receives the data and do process. But on this table data, this guy can be shown. So how many that you want to buy? That is a quantity. How many that you want to buy? So you can increase number one, number two here. Okay, so it has the quantity minimum 0, value 0. You can increase, and then the others you need to hidden, which means you don't really click these things. You click only the quantities. As you click this, all this information needs to be carried to the next PHP files. That's why I have here all of those 4 numbers carried over to processing purchase. So now if you go to processing purchase, here processing purchase, if this is posted, quantity is posted, unit price is posted, customer is posted, item name is posted, com name posted. That's what we have here. So item name, com name, here, there is a name, the variable name. Com name, item name, quantity, and unit price. These are the variables that we identify in that receiving PHP files. This is processing files. So received that, and this is our local variables. I define new variables here. So based upon that new variables, I now enter here another SQL statements, insert into purchases. I want to add those, how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, 6 columns needs to be entered, which is this. So my SQL minus U So here, purchase ID is automatically increased, and customer name, item ID, item name, company name, manufacturer name, quantity subtotal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns needs to be added, and finally purchase date. This is automatically generated. So if you see here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 columns are received from the previous PHP files, and now we want to insert into proper table. Okay, and then finally you can say that is processed. So the other one that you show here, select from company, then customer. We need to show customer. Then Bob, John, Peter. Okay, let's say Peter here. Peter, submit that. Then see here, Peter purchased 4 things. So we have a Peter's. So 4 items purchased by Peter. So you can, this any questions so far? Oops. So purchase.php, that is the first thing that you see. And then once you click some of the items to purchase, then accordingly this PHP is processes that and then save it back to another table. And if we want to see, for example, on your all purchase, if you want to see here, like that you see here, select start from purchases, who purchases so far, all. If you want to see that, then you need to have another PHP file created. Then you can say all purchases. Then it all purchases. Let's see. All. Returns 0. Let's see. All purchase PHP. Then it's selected from purchases. Where the customer, I need to put customers. Okay, here, in this PHP, if I specify, for example, customer equals John, then all the purchased by John will be returned. If I put here Peter, remember Peter just purchased, then I can see the Peter purchase. Peter purchased 4 items. Bob, remember that Bob was also purchasing previously 3 items, so 3 items are showing. So you can, what I did so far, middleware, right? You can create all different the files of middleware to serve customer request. If customer needs to see the list of, for example, all the transactions, all the sales, okay? Your the store manager wants to see the sales, the statistics, right? Then if the sales manager wants to request, then your middleware needs to serve the data. So you need to create more and more. See here, my case, I had only a few samples, PHP files. I have 3 PHPs, right? 2 PHPs, they are linked together, display the database information, and then process users' purchase. The other one is, if you give me a customer name, then I can give to you the list of the items that specific customer purchases. You could do so many other things, more useful or more interesting things. So each of those needs to be one PHP files, and PHP files needs to return the result in JSON data formats. This is the JSON data formats. Having the JSON data formats, you can handle. You know what it is, right? If you receive data only, then you do not know what that data is. For example, there's a number 1 here. If you receive a number 1, then what is it? What the heck that number is, right? But if there is a JSON format, then hey, number 1 is nothing but the quantity. Okay? If somebody says, whatever, 8.97, what it is, that is the subtotals. So that type of things needs to be clearly, accurately provided to user request. Therefore, we need to return the SQL result in the format of JSON. So when JSON data arrives at your, whatever, the laptop or your Raspberry Pi, then you can identify what it is. And therefore, you can do further processing at the local. There's a scenario that I explains. Question? I know this is a lot so far, if you do alone.
So will you, is this the homework for this class? Like set up that front end with the PHP middleware on our Google Cloud server?
I want you to do exactly the way that I did today.
Yeah.
No addition yet.
Yeah.
Addition is too much.
Would you provide us with those PHP files?
Yeah, files are there
Oh,
on that your class notes, lecture notes.
Professor, I have a weird question. When we go to SSH, do I have to like download my SQL and everything again there?
Right.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I cannot connect to the one we installed on our machine.
your machine means your laptop.
Yeah.
Is it your laptop server or?
No,
If you leave your laptop publicly available, then you can do that. But you do not want to, right?
Okay.
I think it's already installed though, MySQL.
I could not access it.
Oh, your SQL is already installed. Once you set up LAMP,
Yeah.
then automatically everything is ready. Now you need to create database.
Yeah. You just can't connect to the MySQL database, you mean, within the SSH session?
Yeah.
Huh. Is it giving you any sort of error, like incorrect credentials?
Yeah. You will show me after the class.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
How did you do that?
Anywhere in your SSH terminals, the MySQL -u root
Yeah,
and -p.
tried, and then
But root
password.
is password that gave it to you initially when you set up.
The one from my computer when I was setting
No,
it
no,
up
no,
on
no,
my
no.
computer.
cloud root.
So it might be within the console somewhere. That
Yeah.
he's your. That's a good question. Let me.
Oh, the first one that we set up.
Yeah, when you set up,
Yeah, but I
then
used that one and it didn't work.
should work.
Maybe.
I'm still using the they said the temporary password. I'm still using the temporary password. I didn't change it. I don't want to because that password is complicated, so it may not be.
Oh, it was. The password was somewhere there.
Yeah, very long. The
Okay.
characters,
I didn't see that.
all combinations. So
I
so
saw different password. I thought that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think.
so you need to get in the MySQL, and you better create your own user ID, your own ID on MySQL. Remember that I create user.
Yes.
Um,
We did that on the.
Right, yeah, right. And quote your name, quote at, quote
add
localhost,
privileges.
quote identified by, quote your password, unquote, semicolon, then that is created. But don't forget to grant privileges. Okay? Grant all privileges, plural, to, again, your login ID, quote your login ID, unquote, at, quote localhost, unquote, semicolon. Then you have all full power. After that, you can create tables that I used here. Any additional questions? Then I think I need to close the video recordings. Otherwise, this is becomes longer and longer. Okay, I'll close this.